Y'all, I am super excited for this week's project. It is a little tray done with the glass gemstones from the Dollar Tree. And it was super easy, super fun. And let me just show you how cute this turned out. Would you ever guess that these are just the gemstones from the dollar store? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, the kind that are not just for 80s and 90s artificial flower decorations anymore. Yeah, those. Who knew there was a way to make them cute? And this one, totally different vibe here, but it's done with the epoxy bottom. And y'all, I'm loving it. And if you're thinking that girl is just hyper fixated on some cake pans, you are right. And now that I have found the glass beads, honey, it's on. I am ready to do some things with those too. Now I'm just going to take some E6000 glue and start gluing some gemstones to a cake pan. A little of this glue goes a long way, so we're just going to start with putting just a little thin bead of it just for a few inches around the edge, and then we're going to just start laying our glass gems on top of that. And just lay them as close together as you can. And this is going to take a while to dry, and the color of the glass beads is not going to matter because we're going to paint over this anyway, but it's just going to give it a nice little decorative edge that I think is going to look really pretty. And we'll just keep on doing that until all the beads are on. Like I said, it doesn't take a terribly lot of this glue. A little goes a long way, so you won't need much. Then we're just going to let this dry really good. It says to allow 24 hours for curing, and then after that it says the maximum bond may not be reached for 72 hours. So we're going to give this a while to dry before we spray paint it. I've taken these two gemstone trays in two totally different directions. So here's the first one. Once the gemstones were attached to the pan and they had had a chance to dry, I just spray painted it white, and once the top side had dried, I just flipped it and did the same thing on the other side. Flipped it onto a piece of parchment paper so that it didn't stick or mar what I had already done. And then I created this design. I just love chickens, and this Rule the Roost is just something that I came up with. And before I get really misunderstood here, by Rule the Roost, I'm not talking about being bossy or mean. I'm just talking about being confident and about just doing what you do, doing you, and just rocking whatever it is you do. Like that old quote says, whatever you are, be a good one. And that's what I mean by ruling the roost, not henpecking your husband or scaring your kids or anything like that. Just ruling the roost and doing what you do and doing it well and having fun with it along the way. So we're just going to take this, we're going to put it on our white plate, and then we'll get going with the other one. So I'm using transfer tape to put this onto the surface of the little tray that we've made. So that just helps to place it a little easier and keep the letters from moving around on you. So I'm just going to take this and slowly peel the transfer tape away, leaving the just the vinyl and removing the backing. And then, you know, just eyeball it to get it centered up. And again, make sure that you have painted your pan with paint that is formulated to stick to metal, because some paint will peel right off under this transfer tape, because it does have a pretty strong grip. And that happened to me a week or so ago with a project that I was doing. I had painted some metal with chalk paint, and when I went to peel my transfer tape off while I was trying to apply the vinyl, the paint came off with it, and that was just a sickening feeling for me. So yeah, don't do that. But we're going to get this peeled off and we'll see what it looks like. Just go slow and kind of at an angle, and it's peeling just a little bit, but I think we'll be able to touch that up. That's where I wasn't able to find the edge of the tape, I think. So anyway, there it is. But again, I do think we'll be able to touch that up where it peeled a little bit. But there's our Rule the Roost pan. I really like how the gemstones worked out. And like I said, the other pan we're taking in a whole different direction. So you'll have two completely different styles of trays. And once I get that touched up a little bit, I'll show you a picture of how it turned out. And again, I'm going to include the SVG cut file in the well, it'll be in my free resource library if you're already one of my readers, and if not, I will do my best to remember to link it in the blog post so that you can get that too. And here is our second glass gemstone tray, and as you can see, I've used about half as many of the glass gemstones around the edge just to give it a different look. And instead of painting this one white, I painted it black. And now we're going to do a resin pour in the bottom of it using this Alumilite resin. To use the resin, you're going to mix equal parts of the A side and the B side, and I'm using just some medicine cups to do that. And make sure you wear gloves, because this stuff is really messy and it goes everywhere. So just make sure. I'm going to fill these all the way up because we want a good bit, but just equal parts of the A side and the B side. And the reason I want quite a bit, well, actually I think I'm going to stop at the 25 milliliter mark. I think that's going to be probably sufficient. But I want a good bit because we're actually, instead of using the alcohol ink like I have done with the tumblers before, this time I'm going to use some epoxy resin, just colors that you mix in with the epoxy instead of dropping it on there like you do with the alcohol ink. So we're going to see how this does. But now I'm going to take my B side and just fill it up to the 25 milliliter mark. And the B side is a little thinner, so it pours a little quicker and a little easier. And as you mix that, again, just make sure that you scrape your sides, the sides of your cups, and get all the little bits out of it. And so we're going to mix that for approximately 3 minutes, and then I will be back to show you how the colors get mixed in. Okay, so once I mix that for 3 minutes, I'm gonna take this. I've honestly never used this before, but it's just resin colorant. This is something I got off Amazon. It's Decorum. It comes in a pack of 18 colors, and honestly, I'm not even sure what's going to show up yet on this black. But we're just going to try it and see what happens, and if some colors are not showing up, then we'll just go in with some glitter. I've brought some gold glitter over and some teal and also some brown, and we'll just go in with the glitter and pretty it up. Either way, I think this is going to work out. So again, just make sure that your A side and your B side is completely mixed. I just used the timer on my phone, and we're going to do some colors and get it on there. I've taken it and I've divided the resin down into 3 cups, and then I'm also going to use the cup that I mixed my A side and my B side in. So I'm going to need one more color. I've got a color here called watermelon. I have a color called lemon, and then I have the white, which I'm almost certain, well actually it says cream, but I'm pretty sure that white is going to show up. And if not, hey, we'll back up and punt. We'll go to plan B. How about we take a little bit of a lime green and work in there and just see what it does. Like I said, it may not show up on the black. If it doesn't, we're going to figure out a way to make it pretty anyway. But from what I understand, this is super concentrated. So, looks like we're going to have to snip the top off. I didn't realize that, because like I said, I've never used this before till now. So we'll just snip that top off and put just a couple of drops to begin with, because it's supposed to be, like I said, highly pigmented, and we'll just need a separate stir stick for each color. That's really pretty. I like that watermelon. I am going to just hit it with just a couple more drops though, just to make it a little more vivid maybe. So I think this is about 7 drops in all that I have used for this. And we'll just set that color aside. Well, it might have made it just a little bit deeper adding more, but it really didn't change the color that much. Just a nice watermelon-y color. So now we'll go in with the lemon. And again, snip that top off. I'm going to hold it over the trash can this time though. I'm afraid it's going to get over there and get on my Cricut equipment, and then I'll be sad. So about, that's kind of hard to squeeze. Maybe I didn't get it down far enough. Yeah, there it goes. I'm going to use, again, about 7 drops. And set that one aside. And take another popsicle stick, and we're just going to mix that up real good. That's a bright, vivid yellow. I really like that. Okay, so now let's go with the green. I'll have to remember to snip that one just a little farther down so it'll come out good, and just several drops of that. I did 7. I don't know, there really weren't any instructions. 7 just seemed like a good place to start. That's pretty too. You can see that color. Just gonna mix that up really good. I hope there's enough. It does spread really well though, so I think when it's all said and done, there will be enough to cover the bottom of this pan. And just make sure you wipe your scissors off real good after you've been doing this, because if you're like me, You know, I might forget to wipe the scissors off and then start another project and mess something up. So anyway, let's get that white down in there, or cream rather. It looks white to me, but anyway, we'll just mix that up real good. And I think we're gonna start with the darker colors and just work our way in. So I think we don't want the green and the watermelon together because that might look Christmassy. So I think what we'll do is start with the watermelon and then go yellow and then green, and then we'll just come in with the white where we need it. So I'm just going to start drizzling this around the edges. And it seems like I'm dripping some. I really didn't mean to do that. But just get that. Scrape the sides of the cup to get all the little tidbits there. And then just set that cup aside. Right now, it does not appear to be showing up all that well, but I'm pretty sure when we hit it with the white, that's when the magic is going to happen. So then I'm going to come in with the yellow. And it's looking like it's showing up a little bit better than the other. But just get all the little bits out of there. And you can kind of stack the cups and maybe not make quite so big of a mess. And then we'll do the green, working toward the center. And then we'll come up with, and we'll come back in with the white. And then what we're going to do is hit it with the heat gun, which is going to encourage the epoxy to spread some. And I think that's when it's going to look really pretty. And if this doesn't show up, I have my alcohol inks on hand, and that's what's going to help us get that color that we want, I think. So like I said, just stack these cups and get them out of the way. I used my cell phone for a timer to stir the epoxy. I'm trying my best not to get any epoxy on there. That would be bad, I think. So just kind of swirl some of the white in here and there all around, and the white is just kind of going to be your accent color. And I have some gold and all too, so of the inks, and we'll use those. And like I said, just kind of swirl it. We seem to have ended up with a bit more of the white, but I'm just kind of gonna do some swirly swirls and see what we can do here. Can you see that color beginning to pick up? That's what we want. I don't want to mix them up too much though, because I don't want the colors all running together and just being blah. So I'm gonna stop right here, go get the heat gun, hit it with that for a few minutes and see what happens. Okay, so here I have my heat gun. It's going to be kind of loud for a minute. Bear with me. Okay, so I do like how that is looking, but I do think that a little bit of alcohol ink could not hurt it. Like, if you can tell, there's lots more white up here, and I want that to have a little more color. And also, there's a couple of places it hasn't spread to the edges, so I'm going to hit it a little bit more with the heat gun, and then we're going to go in with some more alcohol ink. Okay, for the alcohol ink colors, I thought some teal and pink and blue violet would probably be real good. So I'm going to try to drop those, especially on the spots that look, ooh, I like that. That look the most, blah, like that have more white than anything. I think maybe we should have done this with alcohol ink in the first place, but I really wanted to try these epoxy resins and just see what they did. But anyway, now we know. So that was the teal, and now I'm going to hit it with some blue violet if I can get it open. That stuff's on there tight, and I probably should have put on some gloves. I'm probably going to get this all over my hands, but maybe not. I'm going to try to be careful. But make sure you get some up to the edges and just randomly space that out. Y'all, I'm liking how that looks. That's almost peacock looking colors. And it's going to spread out even more than that as it sets, I think. Yeah, that's cute. Alright, so we'll do the pink in a second. Okay, my phone was ringing, but now we're going to go in with the pink. And we may even do a few more colors too. I really wish we had just done the alcohol ink all along. I think the resin colors are really good for just like if you're making something out of the resin, or if you, I'm sure if I had used it over white that would have done fine, but over the black it just can't peek through to show up that good. So anyway, we're going to add in a few drops of this pink, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I don't know if you can tell on the screen just how pretty this is. But I'm going to put a little bit more of the teal, I think would be good. And this is going to set up, I'm going to leave it sitting overnight. Maybe even drop some teal into the pink. That's creating just a whole nother color. And I like it. I love just bright pops of color. I think this is going to be super, super cute. So I'm just going to keep dropping some drops here and there, and then I'll show you what it comes out to look like in the end. Okay, this is already crazy pretty, and now I'm just going to come in with a little bit of this gold glitter and a little bit of the teal and just give it a little bit more dimension, and I think it's going to be awesome. We don't want to overdo it with the glitter, but just kind of here and there. I have already overdone it a little bit with the glitter, I'm afraid. But maybe once I hit it with the heat gun, that'll move it around a little bit and make it a little bit better. Let's do just a little, that comes out so easy. Let's just take it real easy with the teal. And then again, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun and hope that's going to make it all pretty. Well, I kind of like that little pattern that created too. Let's get a little bit in that curve right there. And I think that's going to look great. I do think I maybe got just a little bit too much glitter. So I'm going to just come in and just swirl everything around just a little bit, just to kind of let the epoxy shine through a little bit more, and just I don't know, make it a little more cohesive somehow. That is very pretty though, very, very pretty. I am going to do the heat gun just a tiny bit though, just because I think that's going to really help it to move more naturally than what I can do. and I really can't turn it up for you to see it right now because it's still wet and it's going to move around too much if I do to one side. But as soon as it dries, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. So here it is up close now that it's all dry, and I got the decal on it, the Dream Big decal. I don't know that the camera really does it justice, but that is really, really pretty with the alcohol ink, epoxy, and glitter on it. So that is one of the styles of pan that we did, and I know I showed you this at the very beginning, but here's the other, the Rule the Roost. I still like this one too. So, you know, I hope that maybe you'll get a chance to try one of these projects and that you'll enjoy that. And again, if you like these projects and you want to see more, make sure that you hit like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also check out my blog post at Mochka in the Making. We would love to have you visit, and if you subscribe, you get an all-access pass to my free resource library that has lots and lots of free printables and things for you to use to make your home more beautiful. So that's it for now, and I'll see you next week with our next project. Bye-bye.